Alrighty, welcome to the machine. Mac Beans Guys Fitness. This is my home gym. I painted these because they're really rusted, so the color doesn't really mean anything. It's not correlating to a 25 or a 35 pounds. They're all 45s. All 45s. 35s are the ones over there. Like, it only came with the sets that I was given. Or bought. Some of the stuff was given to me. So, I was warming up for my meet on Sunday. So basically, I'm going to do about 3 sets of this, and then I'll jump up to 405. And my idea is to do a bunch of singles at 405 and then probably come back down. I want to get a lot of volume in, a lot of heavy volume in. Then Thursday, I might just go to a regular gym, warm up real quick, and just do a single push of 405. And that's just to kind of keep my muscles ready for the heavy stuff. So I do take a lot of collagen now. It's supposed to be good for your skin and joints and that, nails. But I've seen some stuff out there they're talking about peptides, and collagen is a peptide and it's a natural one. They have other stuff out there, and I don't know enough about it. So usually I tend to stay away from that stuff. But collagen is something somebody is taking all the time. And the whole theory behind it helps you repair any ligament or tendon damage that you might do with heavy lifting. So I've been doing that. Do I notice anything different? Well, I notice I got to cut my nails more often. All right, and maybe I got to shave a little more often. That's what I noticed, but there's some science behind it saying it's a good thing, so I'm going to continue doing that. I take about 3 or 4 a day with my shake. Shake consists of about 20 ounces of Fairlife milk, about 4 eggs, blend them right in there, a couple scoops of yogurt when I have it, and a scoop of creatine. And then during my shift at night, because I do the 3rd shift, when I remember, it's a when I remember thing, I take arginine. And arginine really helps with the circulation and produce that NO3 in your bloodstream, which is great for your circulatory system. And then I've been taking something else supposed to keep the veins clear. But a lot of times I almost need to get one of those pill dispensers, where you just, because sometimes you just kind of forget and you realize, oh man, it's been 2 or 3 days and I haven't done that. So I just get back on it. And that's just like anything else. You just got to remember what you remember, get back on it. So the collagen is something I've kind of added on a more consistent basis. And hopefully that's going to help. Can't really tell right now. So we'll be doing a series of these at 315. It's a 45. It's a 45. A 45. I don't own styrofoam weights. Although I did find one in a nutrition place. They had it as a decoration. And I'm like, whoa. And he goes, you want it? And I go, no. Nope. Never going to have one in there. Not even as a joke video. It's always, all my lifts are always with real ones. I was at the Arnold, and one of them had a bunch of weights, and they had some of the thin bumper plates in there. So the bumper plates were, 5, 10, maybe 15 pounders, and they made it look like he almost had 500 on the bar, and people were doing it. And I asked the guy who I knew, he's a power lifter. He's got like 150 plus wins in a row. Strong young man. I said, how much weight is on there? He goes, oh, it's about, 215. You want to do that? I said, no, that's fake. I'm not going to do fake. So unless it's real, it's not on my channel. That's just the way it is. So take a little break, come back down here. Like I said, I'll probably do 2 more sets of this, and then we'll add silver ones, because anytime I add the black ones, all their plastic weight. God, people, get a life. You don't know what you think you know. Alrighty, time for the next set. So I'm just getting everything ready for the truly heavy singles. But you just don't want to jump right into them, at least I don't. I think I'll creep at this one by going to 365 next. That's kind of give me an idea how Sunday will go. You have your ups and downs. You know, training varies, your nutrition varies, and your strength will vary. I mean, I really wish that I had a meet about 3 weeks ago. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think I was far stronger. I had really went up and hit my peak, and now you kind of start coming down and try to take a break and trying to get back up to it. And that's the frustration of powerlifting or any type of strength-based sport, is trying to be at your peak and trying to hold that peak as long as you can. I mean, the reason that you start seeing the second and third stringers towards the end of the season, because the first stringers are worn out and injured. And it happens when you're at that high level. You know, it's hard to stay there without having some sort of injury, some sort of mishap, some sort of just change in your speed or your strength, you know, during that period of time. Some people say, well, God, you were just doing, you know, 455 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I was. All right. But I didn't have it last week. 415 was basically it, maybe 420. But that basically was it. And it is what it is. You are going to have a good 10% fluctuation. Now, when you're doing 185, that's, you know, that's not even 20 pounds. But understand, to be at the level of the 400 plus, or for those of you who are in the 500 plus, for those of you in the 600 plus, you definitely understand that, how it's going to fluctuate quite a bit, and how much pressure that puts on the body. You know, this never gets light. You know, 315 still feels like 315, even though I can rep it more times than I could maybe at one time. 365 still feels like 365. You know, 405 definitely is still 405. So, you know, you have to understand that that has put a lot of pressure on the skeleton frames, put a lot of pressure on my joints. And I'm 64 years old. So, you know, there's not a lot of us in my age group that are still doing this. Although I know 4 of them personally, and 2 others I know because of online. So there's about 6 of us I know that are still doing this level, or if not more. Cole Bennett out in St. Louis, Missouri, is a near 600-pound bencher. I mean, he's just extremely strong. Yes, he's shorter. Yes, he's heavier, but still, you know, to stay at that level, to put the training in that you have to do, and you have to do it. It doesn't change because you've done it for a very long time. You are still in need to do all this stuff. So that's why I say just get in the gym and lift. Every workout is a good workout. Some are better than others. And that's going to happen. Just understand that you are going to have days. You know, Mama said there are going to be days like this. Well, there are days like this. That's just the nature of the game. And you still have to try to mix this into your work life, into your marriage, into your, you know, doing stuff around the house, into just trying to have other activities. I like to fish, I like to shoot. You know, there are other things I like to do. But at certain points, this is going to be my priority. So 365. Let's knock it out for a single. And then I'll go get a spotter. Alright, felt good. And those are nice and controlled, and that's another reason you don't see a bend in the bar. First of all, it's a very stiff bar because it's a bench bar. Alright, this is not a deadlift bar, this is for benching. Deadlift bars, you're grabbing here and you want it to have some bend to it. It actually helps with the lift. But with a bench, you're out here. Here's your fulcrums. So this is the only part that can bend because this is supported here and here. Not like when you're pulling it and the whole bar can bend, you're pushing it. So your spots are here and here, pretty much prevents this from bending. And I'm not bouncing it off my chest, which would cause it to flex. So when you make that comment that, oh, that bar ain't bending, it must be fake, you've told everybody that does this as a sport, you don't know what you're talking about. Now, I just explained to you why. So please get educated on that. A bar with a wider grip, I used to go on even wider, is not going to bend at 405. Very little, if any. The only reason it's going to bend is when I'm in here and I'm bouncing it, or if I'm deadlifting, or if I have the wrong bar. If you're benching with a deadlift bar, yes, you're going to get too much movement there, which makes the bench more difficult. All right, this is mostly a universal bar, but it's a stiff one. And it's designed for the bench. The whole setup is designed mostly for bench. So that's just for those two that are like, oh, the bar ain't bending. The twinkling lights ain't twinkling, Clark. Thanks for noticing. All right, 405. For applause. This will be, I'll probably open at 397, 180 kilos. So this is a pretty much indicator if this cools up with no problem, then I know I'm good for my opener. And then you just have to see how you feel. Get down to it. Get down to it. That's a lift. And then we'll come down and I'll do it again in about 5-7 minutes. All right, 4 or 5 again. Chalk up just like rat meat. It'll be Sunday.
Hey, you got it.
Woo!
Stop for a second.
It did, but I kept going. It does that with that long pause. Doesn't seem like long on the video, but trust me, when you're underneath it,
Oh, you got one of them.
seems like it's been a while. All right, 405 for the third time. It's called a grind. I kind of caught myself a little high.
Yeah.
That was on me. I had to adjust. And I'm like, all right, well,
Well, you got
And
it.
this is something you can do when you lift the weight a lot for like the past 20 years. And people say, oh, you make it look too easy. It's not easy. This has been doing it for a long time. So evidently I can play around with it a little bit. So, rest of treasure, proper exercise, hydration. Just get in the gym and lift. It's dinner time. Put 3 at 405. Feel pretty comfortable with my opener. I'll probably play around a little bit of lighter workout on Thursday. I may come do a burnout later this evening. We'll see. That was a lot of weight. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful week.